Welcome to Code. Obviously, these are Code offices. We've been here about a year now. Code was established back in '99 by these three guys on the right-hand side as a traditional digital agency, effectively design and web builds. Over the last year, we've been quite aggressively changing that approach of what Code means. Some of the clients that we work with, this is a small selection really from large businesses that you quite recognise and probably use yourselves to actually ones on here are some smaller ones that you might not know, but we're trying to take a bit more of a leaner startup approach to some of these businesses. And a little, if this works, this is what we're trying to become. Everybody loves a corny dog at the end of a video, really, don't they? So really the question is, why are we changing as Code from being a traditional digital agency? And I guess there's a few reasons for that. How many people in here work in a traditional agency at the moment? Anyone? Put your hands up. No, one. Half work in an agency. Maybe a couple at the back, because you work here. Well done. So there's a few reasons why from a traditional digital agency we wanted to change. Mainly the traditional digital agency model is pretty much around this, where the whole world kind of survives around projects, and projects have a defined start, defined end, a defined scope, so everything that needs to be delivered, most of it probably isn't even valuable. It's just got to be done because someone says they want it. You've got to deliver fast because there's a time scale, got to deliver everything within 3 months or 6 months. And the thing that normally gives it that is quality or longevity of product at the end of it. So we end up with a product that really can't be maintained for the long term, normally meaning that you end up with something that within normally 12 to 24 months, that client's retendering against the quality of the product has gone down. And also, you just build what the customer asks for. You're not really challenging it. And that's quite a big problem. Just let me adjust this. It's virtually down my mouth. See if that works a bit better. So if you build everything that the customer wants, then you probably built the wrong things as well, because you're building what the customer wants, not what the end user wants. I mean, you normally find out that results in this kind of approach. You end up with, in the marketing traditional world, that most people focus on the things that they want to do and the things that they can see. Most of it, we're focusing on marketeers, so it's bells and whistles, things that make them really happy. And the things that make them happy are the things that they can see, not the things that they can't see. And that normally results in things that you don't want to do. Debt, problems, bugs, things like that. And they're probably things that you don't see, things you don't really want to do. Probably back-end engineering tasks, things that they don't care about. And they rarely spend any time doing stuff that they really need to do, but you don't see. So engineering principles, delivery principles, high test quality, all that kind of stuff is things that they don't see. So they don't invest in it. So how are we changing? God, this is loud. So really we've come up with this manifesto. This is what Code believe in. Effectively, it's pretty self-explanatory, I'm sure you can read. But it's thinking, if we value the stuff on this side a lot more than the stuff on the other side. If we believe that you're doing everything on this side, you're probably going to end up with a load of constraints that are going to give you a bit of a headache in probably 12, 24, 36 months. And that's really product thinking rather than project thinking. So there's a lot of stuff over here. A lot of it, things like insights over opinion. Everybody has that hippo person in the business who has effectively the highest paid person's opinion. Rather than basing it on fact or data or insight, they just say, do it because I'm telling you to do it. Well, actually, we want to make sure we're doing it for the right reason because it drives value. So really, all the things down here are the things that we're focusing on as a business at Code. And the way that we work, really, is to try and get round. I mean, how many people have kind of been reading up on lean principles and things like that? Anybody? Lean startup? Good. So really, learn, build, measure, standard kind of triangle that you try and get around as many times as you can, as fast as you can. What we're trying to do is define a strategy. We then build something, a product, measure, insight, learn, define a new. We try and go around this as many times as we can, so we can then not end up with a project that's got a predefined set of deliverables, but we end up delivering something that gives us insight, so we can then learn which direction to go in next. So again, it's a different way of thinking for a digital agency, talking to very much marketeers or marketing departments compared to .coms who do this kind of, or generally doing this every single day. So this is where Code are trying to do something a little bit disruptive in this marketplace. So that allows us to drive long-term partnerships, because obviously we're driving value. We can focus on value, not deadlines and budgets. And if we can focus on value and identify value and deliver the value early, then obviously that's going to generate the cash revenue for the client. So we deliver a lot less, but we deliver the high value items. And that's something it's again, not easy, but that's the idea. Instead of delivering everything, deliver the value. And the other thing the way that we can do that is by creating fixed cross-functional teams. So agencies normally just pull people together and then set them off in a direction. And then once they're done, they disband the team. When that client comes back in, they form a new team or pull somebody because they're free, and then set them on that technical project or that deliverable. And you end up with being a kind of resourcing model where the quality of the code and the quality of the product goes downhill very quickly. And that's because there's no ownership, no accountability. So we create fixed product teams, effectively a set team that have a portfolio of clients. And all that team have to do is try and deliver on that client portfolio. And it's as simple as that. We don't change the team, we don't randomly resource it, we just give that team a set of clients and they work through the backlogs. It's better for high quality code, it's better for high quality delivery, but more than anything it gives the team full accountability of that product for that client. So it allows them to do a better job. And ultimately the aim of this is to do .com thinking. We all know it makes common sense, but it's a very hard thing to do into an agency world. So that's the ultimate. And I guess the other thing is that we're trying to do is most people focus on the feature roadmaps, bells and the whistles, and they prioritise them to generate a roadmap. What we're trying to do also is build in architectural, the longer term views, the stability. And that's the fundamental view that we're taking with a lot of our clients now, is to think about both sides. And the reason being that we want less bugs down here. We want less things to do that we don't want to do in the back end that you can't see. We want to invest more time up here, things that they can't see, but we want to do because it's valuable, because it's going to give us a longevity of product so we can deliver more things that we can see. So effectively, it's just a slightly different way of working. Challenges that we've had at Code while we're doing this. Lots of roles are changing, and that's quite scary because that's people, and people don't like change, even though we should. There's more collaboration required. As a bunch of people interested in test and QA and quality, there was only one QA at Code when I joined. Well, thankfully we've tripled that now. Hopefully, yeah, woo. But we're still growing as well, and that's a good. You've got to have that investment, and the way that those QAs are working aren't testing at the end. So it's very much like the testing manifesto. We get involved early in everything we do, so to generate acceptance criteria right up front. And we're helping define that product right from the start, so we're not getting something at the end with no involvement. If anything, the QA is probably the one that's involved the most all the way through that product. Another scary one really is mindset and empowerment. Agencies normally are used to people being told what to do. They get told, you do this on this day, and okay, yeah, I can do that, or I can't do that. What we're asking people to do is have more ownership and empowerment now. It's quite scary because you don't give them the answer, you give them the problem and hope they're going to find the answer, and that's quite scary. So you give them in a team, and the team have to solve their own waste, solve their own problems, and become effective. Again, it's not for everybody. It relies on trust really to make that happen as well. as a team and building trust with the client so the client understands what you're trying to achieve. And as I said, is it right for everyone? Not really. Not in the old world. Moving into this model, I take it it's very similar for people who work in maybe quite traditional businesses, working in fast-moving .com kind of agile businesses. It's probably not for them if they don't want to be part of it. Very similar. It's going to require an amount of change for people. And it's not for everyone really, because right up front when the client comes in and says, I want this, this and this, we have to challenge it right up front and start identifying what we can deliver early, what's valuable, what's waste, and even challenge some of those hypotheses if they exist and generate the hypothesis for the work that we're going to do. We believe if we do this, it'll generate this, which will result in this output. High level of collaboration with clients, lean, agile, scary words to clients. But that's something that we've got to slowly educate constantly. As you do even in your own businesses today, you have to take that journey with everybody. So we'd have to take that a step at a time with all of our clients. Data-driven and insights, really important. That's the thing that helps you make the right decisions for the future and which direction you're going to go in next. So the main thing is if the client doesn't understand the value or understand the success or how to measure success of a deliverable, then you as a team have to define it. Then you've got the data to make decisions on after, rather than just doing it because the client says do it. Try and measure the data. And it's something that I think you guys have had pretty good success. So I think we've got from Ken and we've got a dev lead in here at the moment. They've been driving a lot of data to try and make decisions about the team effectiveness, even to do with estimates and things like that. High level of delivery and engineering maturity required. I say delivery, it covers all areas, not just engineering, but delivery is QA, from product ownership, from design, all the elements that go inside that team have to be understanding what we're trying to achieve as a business and not regress back to traditional ways. So it is quite difficult. So really, the way that we achieve this, or the way that we've been working to achieve this, is align from the top down. So I've been working as part of the board to change the way that we think and make sure the board are 100% bought in. Been part of businesses that have been down the lean journeys before, and unfortunately, unless you haven't got the buy-in at the top, it's just never going to be easy, and you're probably never going to make it. So instantly, I worked with the board to make sure we were 100% bought in with the board of directors. Give people a bit of time and space to learn. Don't be scared of failure. Failure is important as long as you learn from it. And give them a bit of space to do that experiment. You're not always going to get it right, and it's really hard to sometimes jump on them, and if anything, that quashes that ability to try and improve if you jump on them because they fail once. An open culture. I don't think Code's ever had a culture where feedback was kind of muted. They've always been a very open business, and thankfully that's a great environment as we go through this change, because we can deal with all the concerns and issues that people have, or worries, I should say. So really we started with that. We're using data pretty much everywhere, anywhere where we can. We're driving clients to have KPIs and metrics and understand what they're trying to achieve, and then we can measure against that. Sometimes they don't really know what they're trying to achieve, they just want a website. Well, that doesn't always work, so we then have to try and work them back and give them some understanding of what a metric and a KPI is. And constantly we're looking at ways to improve, so if they do want to achieve something, we can find new ways of doing that, or different ways that might kind of go against some of what they think they need. So we can come up with new ideas to do that. And it allows us to be proactive and innovate in the way that we achieve some of those KPIs. So the data allows us to be a bit more creative. Focusing on value really is the last thing that we try to do. Instead of spending £500,000 on a website, if it doesn't generate you any money at the end of it, that's no good really. So the idea being, if we can only deliver so much of that website or that product, because that generates all the value, let's stop there. And then we move on to the next thing, or identify the next thing we're trying to improve. So value is a really important thing, because it actually makes people accountable inside the client as well, rather than just, I want a website, and they don't understand the value of the website. So it's a quite hard proposition to get clients to understand. So really, that's the three things that we've been doing at Code to go down this lean journey. It's not simple, But I'll shut up because this is normally a longer talk, and I've tried to condense it down because she said I had 5 minutes, which I've killed. But yeah, basically enjoy your evening at Code. If you want to come talk to anybody afterwards about Code, or you're interested just to know a bit more, even take information back into your own company, come and talk to any of the Codeites that are here tonight. Thank you.
Thank you for coming. And I hope you enjoyed the pizza. I think there's still quite a bit left, probably. So one of the things that Equal Experts is known is certainly not for skimping on beer and pizza, so please help yourselves. Just to explain a little bit about what we're about as a company. We're an agile software consultancy, founded in 2006. So, can you hear me now? Sorry. So we were founded in 2006, literally a couple of friends on a kitchen table, and from that we've grown completely organically. So as of today, we're nearly 650 people globally. We have offices in Canada, Lisbon, London, Manchester. We've recently started a project in Australia and also Singapore. I think one of the notable things is the Northwest and how we've developed in the north of the country. So we've now got an office in Manchester, and as well as that, we've now got 100 people working in various locations from London, Leeds, and Newcastle, and also Telford. If you'd like to know anything more about Equal Experts, please come and speak to either myself or one of my colleagues wearing a great Equal Experts hoodie, and we'd be delighted to tell you more, as we're always looking for good people.